Governor Haley usually starts off all her talks saying it's a great day in South Carolina. Well, I'd like to go one step further and say that it's an even better day today in Anderson County. I'm glad that everyone is able to join us today as we celebrate the startup of a major project for Anderson Regional Joint Water System, for Anderson County, and for hopefully brand new industry yet to come, and as we celebrate the industry that we have here in First Quality. I want to take a brief bit of time here and do some recognition of some guests that we do have here. I believe if we look down, we have members of our Anderson County Council. Obviously, Mr. Crowder, and I believe Mr. Waters is in attendance. So we appreciate you coming. I believe Mr. McDurham, or the Honorable McDurham, the Mayor of Williamson, is with us today. Thank you for joining us. I have several members of our board of directors from the joint water system, Mr. Spencer, and then I have about a half dozen others out here. If y'all just stick your hand up, we appreciate y'all taking the time out this morning to join us. This morning we are also blessed to be to have Mr. Dean Chatterton, the operations manager for First Quality, with us, and Mr. Michael Briggs, who is the project manager for First Quality in the development of this site. So we're very grateful that you're here with us today as we celebrate the startup of this facility and hopefully the next step in our partnership, which we hope to be long and fruitful. Mr. Rusty Burns is with us today, our county administrator, and Mr. Burris Nelson, who did a lot of work on the front end of this project to even make it possible for us to even talk about this project. With that, I want to take just a brief moment and acknowledge some of our partners and some of the people we've had to work with. I should say had the opportunity and be blessed to work with, not had to work with. We have representatives from Blue Ridge Electric Cooperative who will be supplying the power for this facility. The Department of Transportation, both from the state and Anderson County. This facility is actually connected by 8 miles of pipe from the lake back into the southwest part of Anderson County at Masters Boulevard, where First Quality is located. We'd like to thank the Department of Natural Resources for agreeing to allow us to locate on this wonderful piece of property. Everybody came through the gates further down the road. That's the Department of Natural Resources facility. The last of my agencies that I need to mention are those who often take a little bit of blame out here. I'd like to recognize our Corps of Engineers, our Lake Hartwell project staff. They were instrumental in helping us site this location, get it permitted, and help us keep all the paperwork moving forward. To do a environmental project or any project of this scope on a lake is a tremendous permitting exercise, and they were instrumental in helping us stay on schedule and to move this project forward. Finally, I, as the executive director, wanted to acknowledge that I have an outstanding staff. Ms. Jennifer Barrington was our project manager on this project. She did a great job. She was ably assisted at times by Mr. David Melton, our operations manager, and by Eddie Mackison, our maintenance manager. They've done a lot of work on this project for the past 3 years. With that said, I need to introduce Mr. Dyke Spencer. Mr. Dyke Spencer is the chairman of our board. He was on our board when we started this process 3 years ago, and he provided a lot of wisdom and counsel and a lot of experience in shepherding this project through our boardroom, and from negotiating the agreements to securing consensus on how to move forward. And with that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Dyke Spencer from Powdersville Water and our board chairman.
Thank you. I don't know how much wisdom I brought to the table. I'm still trying to figure out what some of these pipe fittings are that they've changed over the years since I used to do some of this. This has been a great project. You could stand here and talk all day long about the good points about this project and the partnerships that were formed and that were strengthened during this project. Back in May of 2010, we learned that we had a great opportunity before us here in Anderson County. We had recruited an industry that needed large quantities of raw water. we had many challenges ahead of us. We had a myriad of funding, of opportunities there too. We had a lot of funding for this project, but trying to wade through all those funding opportunities was difficult at times. We were on an extremely tight schedule as far as design and construction. The permitting effort that was done between us and the Army Corps of Engineers and all the other agencies that were involved in this project. I applaud the work of our staff and our engineers and those agencies for working with us to be able to even get this intake structure permitted here on Lake Hartwell. And it's really opened up a rare opportunity for a county. We have the ability now to offer raw water in large volumes as well as treated water in large volumes for economic development, and that's a rarity. There's not everybody that can say that they have that. Anderson Regional Joint Water System and partnering with the Anderson County and First Quality Tissue and all the other agencies. I mean, like I say, it's just a great story. There's not many people that can stand here at the end of it and say it went great. We strengthened even better relationships with these partners, and we're postured for the future. I mean, next industry that comes along, we've got a track record already. We've demonstrated that we can do a difficult project like this. I mean, just to build the miles of pipe and the intake structure in the amount of time that was done here, and to get all that design and permitting construction done, it's phenomenal in my book. We've also got a recent announcement that not only have we brought hundreds of jobs through First Quality Tissue, but they've just recently made another announcement of further expansions for the future. The good news just keeps on coming. The completion of this project, I think the key thing that I want to leave you with is that the completion of this project, it represents the fulfillment of a promise that Anderson Joint made to First Quality in Anderson County about 2.5 years ago. And when we made that promise, we were out on a limb. We said, yep, we can do this project. Well, there were a lot of unknowns at the time, and we've gotten through that. And today, I think, is just is to commemorate the completion of this project, the fulfillment of that promise. And again, we thank all of the parties that were involved in this project. We're proud to be one of the partners in this landmark project of Anderson County, and we have a lot to be proud of, and we should be very proud of this accomplishment. Thank you.
Through the guidance of the County Council and Mr. Rusty Burns and Burris Nelson, Anderson County was able to step up to the plate and provide some additional funding to help us upsize and make the line work that leaves this facility quite a bit larger, allowing us to almost double the amount of deliverable capacity into the South Anderson area. I think that's a remarkable achievement, and in and of itself a very forward-looking approach that our county council and our county staff deserve credit for. With that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Francis Crowder. Mr. Crowder is the chairman of the Anderson County County Council. Mr. Crowder.
I'm sure you've heard the expression after these two introductions, there's a little less to be said. I won't use my standard thing is I don't have a written speech. It's really from the heart. Ken Waters told me to try that one more time because I very seldom write a speech, but that's not to say I don't think about it a lot. It is a unique experience to have a wonderful firm like First Quality to decide to come into our community, as already said, 2.5 years ago, because that opened, for the lack of a better word, the floodgate of opportunity to enhance the capability for future expansion in Anderson County. You'll recall that they came to us and said that they needed water, and thank goodness the Lord provided the wonderful resource that we have on Lake Hartwell. And people often blame the Corps that they draw down too much, but when you really need to think about it, the Lord's withheld rain for whatever reason, and if we have adequate rain, we'd have plenty of water to do everything that we need to do. So I make no apology for the fact that just about every week, almost every day, I pray for the Lord to ask for more rain so it'll fill up our lake, because we do have a wonderful resource here. I think the magical part about it is that when First Quality came and said we need water in order to make this work, because they were a water-intense business, Mr. Burns and Mr. Burris Nelson came to us with the idea that it would be good if we could put forth some additional money to expand the capacity for the line that would be built there, with the hopes of attracting data centers. Now, South Carolina has not been in an advantageous position to attract many data centers until recently, with the enactment of legislation by a state legislature to take care of some loopholes that were needed from a sales tax perspective and other tax incentive perspectives to be able to attract those kind of facilities to South Carolina. And so with the enlargement of the capacity that the Anderson Regional Joint Water System and Anderson County to provide this expanded capability, Anderson County Council and economic development people are moving forward with trying to attract data centers to our area, primarily because they do provide average salaries that are very beneficial to the development of our community at higher pay grades. And usually the data centers attract other peripheral jobs, software companies and what have you. And this is the kind of niche that we'd like to move forward. We've been able to make sure that that idea was embedded in the Appalachian Council of Government Economic Development 5-year plan document recently, as one of the goals for Anderson County is to go after data centers and other peripheral businesses. And so that's been made possible through the infusion of the additional $1 million that you'll recall that we actually had available because we sold land that we had that was going to be part of a possible waste disposal site to serve Pickens and Anderson and possibly Oconee County. And so at this time we really thank all the staff that have been involved, the Corps of Engineers and your hard work. And this is a great day for Anderson County, and I hope the phone soon starts ringing in Burris Nelson's office. It says, well, we want to come look at Anderson County to bring a data center to it. That'll be the next achievement, and we applaud. In addition, First Quality already starting their third line, and hopefully within 18 to 24 months their fourth line. And maybe after that, a fifth line, because they are a good partner. And thank each one of you for coming today.
For all the efforts that they've done in getting industry and business to locate in Anderson County. We appreciate that. I'd like to introduce Mr. Burris Nelson, our Anderson County's Economic Development Director.
Good morning. This is a momentous and landmark occasion, there's no doubt about that. And could not be here even having this discussion without the support of many people. I was in a meeting yesterday, Upstate Alliance Executive Committee, and the one thing that was central to the conversation was this is a team sport. It takes many people doing many things to make projects like this and to attract the First Qualities of the world and get great companies like First Quality to come to our community. First, I'd like to thank County Council for their continuing support of economic development and the things that are required to keep a sustained economic development program going. In December or late November, this guy named Price Howard came bouncing in our office one morning and said, "We've got this project." And Price turned out to be a guy who worked for First Quality or for Jacobs Engineering and then First Quality, and talked about this immense project. And mind-boggling project. And then we started talking about the need for immense amounts of water. And I was astounded and a little bit shocked. And I called Scott Willett, and Scott said, we can make this happen. And in late December, there was a meeting in our boardroom of our office where people talked about miraculous things, and this is the culmination of that. Thank you so much for all that you and your board did, and the water companies, the corporation of the city of Anderson, John Moore, thank you. Without that corporation, we could not have gotten a lot of this done. This is an opportunity for me to thank you. I hope that I haven't bored some of you with all of that, but this is a momentous opportunity and occasion, and thank you so much. Thank you for the support that you all have supplied economic development and Anderson County. It is truly a miraculous event. I can't imagine being able to deliver this much water. The corporation of the Corps of Engineers and all the things that the Corps has done has been amazing. So thank you very much. I appreciate you all.
Mr. Crowder?
Scott said it would take about 30 seconds. Don't panic.
Thank you, Mr. Operations.
So bear in mind, as the pumps start up, there's a process of starting the pumps in. The fact that we bring the lube water in, which is necessary to make the pumps operate, and over time they'll slowly ramp up into operation. The one thing that does stand out is that I think the best way to say it is the sound that you hear, which is not nearly as loud as some of the pumps we have on our main intake. They're relatively quiet, but it is the sound of progress. This is the sound of this is money, effectively. For first quality now and for future industries as we move forward.